highly motivated or rather overwhelmed. One thing to keep in mind is that lifestyle changes take time.
If you make up your mind that you're going to do it, it's not hard at all.
Many lifestyle changes learning new skills. The following suggestions can help. Start slowly. Don't change everything at once.
Tried to focus on something that would be simple to start with, and that was that sheet that had the list of how many carbohydrates were in the serving and what the serving size was.
If we can again take their regular habit, tweak them somewhat, trying to not change their lifestyle so dramatically that's totally foreign to them, but start taking baby steps and letting them work baby steps and letting them work toward the eventual long-term goal.
Set realistic goals and make based on actions you can take rather than on end results. For example, your weekly weight loss goal might be to walk for 45 minutes a day for 4 days, rather than to lose a specific amount of weight. Set aside time to evaluate your efforts. Ask yourself whether the changes you're making are delivering the desired results. If not, you may need to try a different approach. Enlist the support of family and friends. Even get them involved in trying healthier foods, getting more exercise, quitting smoking, or attending diabetes support groups. The lifestyle changes you make to live with diabetes can benefit anyone.
We are very much at risk. I mean, because of both sides of our family all have diabetes. So, I mean, we're very much at risk, so it's better off that we want to try and prevent it now.
Expect to make mistakes. Don't look at them as failures, but as opportunities to learn.
It's important to validate what you're doing, whether you're going in the right direction, and to get some encouragement that, oh yeah, going in the right direction, let's continue to go that way. Did that happen at work or after you got home?
Know when to go for help. Nobody expects you to take on managing your diabetes alone.
When you're having difficulty, come back to your healthcare team and say, I'm having trouble with this. It's a lifelong illness, and so you're not going to just learn it and go off and be perfect. No one is.
If there's anything that like my dietitian or my doctor would tell me, I'll try and follow as close as I could. It's for my own good.
And finally, reward yourself. Find a way to celebrate and pat yourself on the back for a job well done.
The main thing to keep in mind when faced with so many changes is that diabetes self-management is a lifelong process, so give it time. You're probably trying to make certain changes in your life. Which do you think will be the easiest to make? Which will be the most difficult? Do your family and friends know about the changes you're making? Have any of them joined you in adopting healthier habits? How do you evaluate your efforts? How do you reward your efforts? Identify the part of your treatment plan that you're having the most trouble adding into your routine. Then write down the pros and cons of making the change and share it with your diabetes care team.
However good you feel about your diabetes management, there will still be days when you
can feel so alone and so frustrated because it's just like nobody understands.
It's frightening. So there's a lot of anger involved. There's denial involved.
I would hate to lose, per se, my feet or my sight. I think the biggest one is my eyesight.
My grandmother ended up having her legs cut off and going blind before she passed away as a diabetic. And so, for me, I don't want to go there.
Not reaching your blood glucose goals may intensify these emotions. You may find that sticking to your treatment plan, working with your diabetes care team, and finding support to help achieve your blood glucose goals will go a long way in making you feel better. Many people find that just writing down their feelings helps to put them in perspective. It can also help to express your feelings to others.
I don't want to be a burden to my children that they have to take care of me in my old age.
It's like, I don't know if I want to deal with this today.
Yeah, we have a choice.
But I mean, but I don't, and it comes and goes. It's just, you get kind of like, oh man, this is just such a hassle sometimes.
Sometimes I get really depressed and I think, what's going to happen to me?
You may be depressed if you experience any of the following symptoms nearly every day for at least 2 weeks. Feelings of sadness or emptiness, poor concentration, irritability, sleeping too little or too much, an increase or decrease in appetite, fatigue, not caring about your appearance or things you used to care about and enjoy, or obsessive thoughts about death and dying. Finding success as a self-manager may help these negative emotions go away altogether. But if you find that your feelings are interfering with your self-management, you could need professional help.
Juanita, you were telling me that you're having problems sleeping at night. Can you tell me?
There are many possible causes of depression and a variety of treatment options. Your diabetes care team can point you in the right direction. Another problem that may be caused by poor diabetes control and can also contribute to depression is sexual dysfunction.
It can have effect on nerves anywhere in the body, and impotence can be an outcome.
Tell your diabetes care team if you notice any of the following: a decrease in sexual desire, arousal, or ability to achieve orgasm, as well as impotence in men, and vaginal dryness or infections in women. There are many possible causes of sexual dysfunction and a variety of management strategies. Keeping your blood glucose in your target range is a good place to start and may slow or reverse the development of such difficulties. You also need to be aware of how stress can impact your diabetes management.
What's going to happen if they pull 200 kids out of here?
Emotionally, stress can interfere with your maintenance of good habits. You may eat more to comfort yourself, return to harmful habits, or lose your will to exercise.
And sometimes you skip the day. Oh, it's okay to skip a day. And then you skip the next day, and then you feel guilty.
This can lead to a cycle that's very hard to break. Some signs of stress include disturbance in sleeping habits, eating too little or too much, which may lead to hyper or hypoglycemia, headaches, tension in the neck, shoulders, back, or chest, or the inability to relax or enjoy yourself. Of course, none of us can totally avoid stress in our lives. Whether it's something serious like the death of a loved one, or financial problems, or an everyday mishap like getting stuck in traffic, or your power going off in the middle of the night.
I'm going to be running a little late this morning.
The following guidelines can help you stay on track during stressful times. Stick to your routine. Be sure to get enough rest and to take your medications. Make healthy food choices. And exercise as usual. When you're in the middle of a crisis, you may need to make adjustments in your treatment plan to help you cope, because stress can cause your blood glucose to go out of your target range.
When my wife passed away, my sugar escalated, and stuff like that. I guess it was the stress that the loss and everything. So I had to readjust my life.
Talking to family or friends can also help. But as always, don't hesitate to go to your diabetes care team. Some situations may require their assistance as well. Lastly, take time for activities you enjoy.
When I find out when I am not feeling good or I'm tired, I do try to take a break. I do try to get some quiet time.
Gotta go.
Relaxing hobbies can help you keep things in perspective and refocus on what's important.
You're like a teenager, sort of. You forget about any problems that you might have for that day. You're all focused on just playing ball.
It's a good idea to know a few relaxation techniques. Your diabetes care team can provide you with information on a variety, such as muscle relaxation or deep breathing exercises, guided imagery, or visualization.
I want you to think of a nice place. Think of a place where you're laying down, looking up at the sky. See the clouds in the sky. See the sunshine, it's warm on your body.
Other options include yoga, biofeedback, or acupuncture. Whichever relaxation technique you choose, try to make it a regular part of your day-to-day living.
Learning how to deal with the emotional side of diabetes, along with mastering your treatment plan, helps you enjoy a better quality of life. What were some of your emotional responses to being diagnosed with diabetes? What are they now? Have you ever noticed signs and symptoms of depression? If so, have you let your diabetes care team know? Do you think that having diabetes has had an effect on your sexuality? If so, have you gone for help? Have you noticed having any physical signs of stress? What are they? How often do you take time to relax? And what do you do to relax? Gather information on 2 or 3 relaxation techniques. Try each at a different time during the next week when you're feeling stressed or anxious, and see which one works best for you.
This section addresses some of the common miscommunications that arise between people who have diabetes and the people closest to them. Please watch it with your family or close personal friends. Even though they may have your best interests at heart, your loved ones may seem as though they're watching your every move and not allowing you to make your own decisions.
There's times when I get very upset with him for things that he does that I feel that he shouldn't be doing with his illness.
And her doctor doesn't want me to control her that way. He just constantly reminds me she's a person, not a disease.
If you're a close friend or family member of a person with diabetes, you may sometimes feel that your loved one is not taking care of themselves.
I worry about the future, and kids, they're thinking of just today and how things are going, and I worry about him 20 years from now or 40 years from now, and I'm not going to be there to say, don't put that in your mouth, so this is why I'm always drilling on it.
But as much as you want to do for them, you have to allow them to take responsibility for their own care. Encourage healthier lifestyles by example rather than by criticizing behavior. Another common response that family and friends may have to diabetes is behaving as though diabetes is your problem and not theirs.
I think it was harder on my wife because she's the one that I tell her, okay, I got to eat a half hour later, and she get all upset. This ain't a restaurant. You want to eat at a restaurant, go over there. They'll give it to you when you need it.
Even though such actions may seem uncaring, it's likely that they stem from feelings of fear or loss.
I'm always afraid he might lose his eyesight, or it can make me cry. His eyesight, or lose a leg, or something like that.
It may be easier for them to act as though you don't have diabetes at all than to face the reality of it. Living with a person who has diabetes also forces the family to take a look at their own habits. They may miss the way things used to be.
What are you having? Having a sweet roll? It has a better than that.
These differences can leave everyone feeling hurt, angry, and isolated, which can create tension and lead to arguments. A good way to deal with these emotions is to open the lines of communication and keep them open. Try to express your own feelings in a non-judgmental way, rather than focusing on what the other person has said or done. And then, make sure you give them a chance to respond to what you've said. And listen.
She tells me that she appreciates how much I know about it, but to give her space.
If I didn't have my mom, I don't think I would have been able to deal with it as well as I have.
Sometimes we get in arguments because she tells me, say my blood sugar is like 120, and then she checks hers, and hers is like a lot higher than mine, and she tells me, you need to keep it lower, and I say, well, I want you to concentrate on yourself instead of me, and then we, go kind of at it for a while, but it helps when you have someone to guide you.
Support can ease the burden of lifestyle changes and help reduce depression, stress, anxiety, and isolation. You can find support in many places.
My family's my support group, my in-laws, my nephews and my niece, they all know about, the diabetics.
In addition to family and friends, diabetes support groups can be a great source of support. Nothing takes the place of talking with people who know firsthand exactly what you're going through.
It's a neat feeling. It's just like everybody knows how we feel inside when we're talking about, well, I felt this way last week, and the reason why I felt this way, and somebody will say, well, I felt that way too.
You can also get useful ideas and information at support group meetings.
We have guest speakers, and they talk to us about the latest findings on diabetes and different things that help us. And it boosts our morale. It encourages us to keep on trying, to keep the fight going.
Some find support through community-based groups or religious organizations.
So without my faith, I don't think I'd have made it as far as I have.
Volunteering or supporting others can also help put your diabetes into perspective. And remember, your diabetes care team can also be a great source of support.
Only by open, honest communication can people give and receive the support they need wherever they find it. Where do you find support? Are you satisfied with your support system? If not, how can you strengthen it? How do you feel your family and friends are reacting to living with diabetes? What are some common issues related to your diabetes that frequently arise in your relationships? How are you handling them? Are there other ways to handle them? Find and attend a diabetes support group, or if you are already attending a support group, ask a family member or friend to go with you.